Democracy Deadlocked is a series for and about regular Americans like you.
I was voting for change.
I felt so betrayed.
In this journey through Ohio, where that disastrous 2004 presidential election prevented hundreds of thousands of voters from casting ballots or from having their votes counted,
there won't be enough outstanding votes for us to be able to win Ohio.
People tell us how their lives have changed since that election.
I used to buy instead of the car because the gasoline is so up high right now, so I can't afford it.
These are the faces of Main Street America, like your next-door neighbor, who said that because of a lost election, they are struggling to survive.
I had a lot of bills, back bills I had to pay and stuff. I'm living in a tent.
Just for keeping your garbage, that's $2.50 just for a bag of gas, so why wouldn't you just do it?
If I lose my job, I probably cut cell phone.
Ohio, as a swing state, has gone the way of the winner in the last 11 presidential elections. How does that unique status meet the needs of resourceful citizens?
First call for help. Tammy speaking. May I help you?
Not much, since Ohio was never able to recover from the 2000 recession the way the rest of the nation did.
Well, are you behind on your payments now?
While Kerry's 2004 promise was to keep jobs at home, the winners of that election created rising deficits instead of employment, especially in working-class neighborhoods where home prices have plunged by 50%.
Since the last election, the little villages we had left are gone. The people are definitely suffering, especially with the gas prices. Seniors are being hit very, very hard.
This Cleveland Community Action Director is inundated with more than 200,000 more calls for help than usual.
How am I going to get through this year? I mean, that's my concern. My concern is if the call volume goes up and the resources in the community keep going down, I don't know how we're going to get through this year.
But like a phoenix rising from the ashes, Democracy Deadlocked is showing you Ohioans who have found ways to assert their rights over votes that were not counted in 2004, with the hope that their lives can be restored again.
I decided that it was time to file a suit, and as a lead plaintiff on that suit, representing my civic association, that we decided it was time for us to do something as a democracy, that we should have the right to voice our opinion.
Willis Brown, a Columbus high school teacher, is the lead plaintiff in a landmark class action lawsuit known as the King Lincoln case against the Office of the Secretary of State.
I can speak for my voting station, and we had long lines, the machines were slow, we had fewer machines than I saw before, and I think and I know that it was a plan, it was very strategic because it happened throughout our neighborhood, which is an urban, predominantly African-American community.
He says the suit is not just about vote fraud, it's to recapture a piece of the American dream.
In Ohio, we have a clear indication of what has happened from 2004 to 2008, is that a lot of people have lost their jobs, lost their houses.
Other citizens like Linda Essen, a farmer with a law degree, who's nothing like the fictional character in Green Acres, believes corporate-backed lobbyists helped drive farming costs up by 33% since 2004. She's finding cheaper ways for her family to eat.
So for people who are trying to make pectin, who can't afford to pay for it when they're canning, just start planting apple trees. It doesn't take, 2 years for trees to start making little apples that size, and then you've got free pectin. That's how the colonists used to do it.
Essen blames lobbyists for helping to create a global corporate monopoly, not unlike the monarchies that the Founding Fathers warned against.
The voting machines are just one way of pretending there's a vote while they secretly take back their monopoly right to do appointments through the use of computer code.
I have said now for over a decade that this is a national security threat.
Stephen Spoonamore agrees. He's a high-level industrial insider and whistleblower on voting machine fraud who lives down the road from Essen. He's testified that, yes, one aspect of foreign control over the U.S. are those unverifiable voting machines.
If you build an insecure system and do not know how the votes are managed and cannot assure that they're attached to the voter, you open yourself to overseas entities, foreign intelligence agencies, corporate hacking, party hacking.
All of the citizens we spoke with want the elections to help improve their lives, including a teacher and a mom, Patty Schaefer, who was energized to investigate vote fraud by filmmaker Michael Moore.
One of the things that he said that was incredibly memorable to me was go out with your cameras
take pictures of everything, document it, go in and ask for records.
For years, she's been looking at evidence that would help the King Lincoln lawsuit. Here, she wants to find out what happened to the missing extra 2004 unvoted ballots. Thousands of them. Elections can't be audited without them. Could those ballots have been plagiarized?
Is Matt Damschroeder in?
Matt Damschroeder is deputy director of Franklin County's Board of Elections. He opposed paper ballots in 2004. He's no longer top dog, but he kept his over $100,000 a year salary and holds power. His press secretary shows up to speak with Schaefer.
I'd just like to know about a group of ballots, where they're at. It's the unvoted 2004 ballots. The Secretary of State didn't have them. So, Ben, where would they be stored?
Well,
I'm in your warehouse?
I can't answer it for you right now.
So then the question is, well, where are they? And if they don't... No, I've already have. They said they don't have them. In your inventory, it doesn't show them, so it doesn't mention them.
Here, Schaefer goes back again to ask officials why thousands of voter registration forms sent in by people incomplete are sitting in boxes. Is there a plan for people who show up at the polls and not be able to vote?
My feeling is, as we've expressed numerous times as we close this meeting now, is that we don't have a feeling on them one way or the other. State law says we cannot process these as valid registrations.
His new boss, Mike Stinziano, has nothing to say.
I think Matt has said enough.
Okay, do you want to make a statement about
No, thank you.
She sometimes makes headway with the officials, but she and her mom have political differences.
But see, I don't think that Bush is the demon that the Democrats make him out to be.
He's not the president, and I look at, he's not. His appointments are all illegal. You know, anybody he's appointed to office. The way our country has literally had the treasury looted. We have soldiers dead. We have people in Iraq dead.
Schaefer says what makes 2004 voting research still relevant today is that the same system that disenfranchised Willis Brown is in place to destroy records again.
When no one's held accountable at all, there's no reason for it to stop.
Some of the tactics go back at least a century, such as the old ballot security program that was set up to purge or to shred hard-fought black votes in many ways. For example, if registration mail is stamped return to sender for any reason, the names are deleted from the rolls. The 2004 Rice University report shows a variety of programs like Operation Eagle Eye that have been run by extremist factions of the Republican Party for decades, that have never been stopped and that cause citizens to be suspicious.
I still can't believe that administration got in the second time, and I know what happened the first time with the Florida and everything, and I think that election was stolen.
Schaefer says what's helpful to Willis Brown's lawsuit are the official excuse letters about the destruction of over 1.5 million ballots in 58 counties. One she calls the Coffee County.
Because a 10-cup coffee pot was spilled onto the record, 6 to 10 boxes, they were thrown away.
In fact, she had one time worked for Cliff Arnebeck and Bob Petrakis, the attorneys for the landmark vote fraud suit, who have also been immersed in protecting the vote beyond 2004.
We've had 2 presidential elections unquestionably stolen. This is not controversial. It's stolen. Get over it.
Schaefer feels that the magnitude of what they're dealing with may have affected the landmark case.
It appears they do not want the dog ate my homework letters in the court, or they would have submitted them themselves.
The attorneys say her position has no merit because they obtained a court order to block the destruction of records.
The principal reason that we filed the King Lincoln case was to protect against the destruction of the records of the 2004 election.
But Schaefer says the attorneys had only posted the evidence on the web. It shows how election officials admit wrongdoing, but to hold those officials accountable in court, she says she and other citizens had to rush to file the 859 pages of evidence shortly before the statute of limitations could run out.
Now, any citizens group, including this one, has a right to go out and do those things. They just can't do it in connection with our lawsuit.
What the election officials have done has been likened to crimes described in historic school discrimination cases. Still, the attorneys have decided on a settlement concept with the Secretary of State, Jennifer Brunner.
What we have done is basically say, yes, we'll settle, and we gave the Secretary of State's office a list of reforms, and
50 reforms.
And she's adopted most of them.